So, of course, I hate to do this because it's not fair to these guys, but some of these guys are really good players. I want to say that right away. Some of these guys could be really good players, but based on the team needs of any of these specific teams, I think it could have been a bad pick for the team because maybe they needed to address offensive line or cornerback more. Maybe the player was taken way too early, even if they could end up being a good player. So this is not a bad players list. This probably wasn't the best pick available for that team at the time, according to me. And you can take that for what it's worth. Maybe you think I'm an idiot. If that helps you feel better about it, that's fine. You can think I'm an idiot. That's great. But let's go ahead and talk about some of my least favorite picks of day 2. So that's round 2 and 3 from the 2021 NFL draft. So first off, the Ravens. And the Ravens, I always loved their draft. So this was kind of a little bit surprising. Brandon Stephens was a guy that I'd seen before, but I have not watched his tape. I'm not going to lie to you. I have not watched him, and I watched 250 plus players. Brandon Stephens was not one of them. But I did look into him, of course, before making this video, as he's somewhat of an undersized corner, not particularly long, was a running back convert, which certainly did not make me feel better about this pick. But he is a solid press man corner for SMU. He's just still raw. He's still learning the technique of how to actually play corner after converting from being a running back. I think there were better corners on the board. And for the Ravens, I think there were better players on the board, especially on the interior of the offensive line. I think maybe Trey Smith would have been a really good pick as a potential swing guard or even starting right tackle. His tackle tape was pretty good at Tennessee when he was a freshman. So I think Trey Smith would have been a great pick. I think there were some really good players available. I don't think Brandon Stephens was the best pick for the Ravens at this spot. This was another situation of I just think it was too early. Shawn Wright out of Oregon State is a developmental cornerback. He does have great length, unlike Brandon Stephens, but he is also extremely raw. And I love the Kelvin Joseph pick for the Cowboys. I think he has big-time potential. Of course, the rapper Boss Man Fat punched a coach in the face. That's cool, if you like that. But really good player. Shawn Wright, on the other hand, another guy that I did watch. First heard about him on Last Chance U. I think he was the brother of something Wright from Laney College. I don't remember the name. It's been a long time since I watched the Netflix series, but Shawn Wright, I watched him at Oregon State, and his technique is extremely flawed. And for him to go in round 3, that was pick number 99, I just think it's way too early. I think he was maybe a 6th or 7th round pick, priority free agent type player where this guy could play an impact on special teams. But if you're drafting him in the 3rd round, you think you can develop him into being a starting cornerback at some point, or at least an impact playmaker that plays a bunch of downs for you per game, even if he doesn't start. I don't know that Shawn Wright is that. You do have something that you can mold if you can coach him up. He is a good athlete, and he does have pretty rare size at the position, but this just seemed way too early to me. Trey Sermon went round 3, pick number 88. I like Trey Sermon as a player, running back 5 for me. I think Michael Carter's a better player, and Michael Carter was still available. They went Trey Sermon instead. This is one of those teams where it seems like they just can't have enough running backs, and they value running back so much higher than any other team in the league. And I just think there were better players available for the 49ers at the pick. I think they could have addressed the secondary. I think that could be a really, really big problem for them going into 2021, yet they opt to take Trey Sermon, who probably isn't even an every down type back. He won't have to be in San Francisco, thankfully. He's a guy that I think does fit the 49ers fairly well, but not only is it a little bit early for Trey Sermon, I don't think he was the best running back on the board, and I don't think he was the best pick for the 49ers at this spot. I really would have much rather them focus on defense, whether that's getting a corner to replace, Richard Sherman, who wasn't even particularly good, or Keller Witherspoon long-term, Jimmy Ward in the future. I think safety could have been a bigger need as well. I just didn't love the pick based on what was available and based on the position and the spot of the pick. Steelers fans are going to hate me, right? Steelers fans are going to hate me. I think the Steelers have done well to good players, which is a good thing if you're drafting. I think Najee Harris is fantastic. I think Pat Freiermuth is tight end too. I think he's a solid player. Solid. But in a draft where they desperately needed to upgrade center and left tackle, maybe even right tackle, and cornerback, the Steelers with their first 2 picks took running back and tight end. Like it or not, 2 of the least valuable positions on either side of the ball. And I think they're both good players. And I think they were both near the top of their respective positional groups. But I just think it was a weird situation for the Steelers where they really needed these other positions, and they didn't address those in the least bit. Like, I don't know who's going to block for that team next year. Big Ben's going to die out there. He's getting to that age anyway where he might just die of natural causes, but he might die due to defensive lines killing him. I don't know what type of running lanes are going to be there. Najee Harris is great because he can fight through some bad blocking just because he's so powerful as a runner and, at least get back to the line of scrimmage, if not churn out some extra hard-fought yards. But even though Pat Freiermuth is a really good pickup at tight end, I don't like that they're going running back and then tight end with their top 2 picks here. Inside the top 55, they're taking a running back and a tight end when they really needed center and left tackle and cornerback. The Steelers are set up to be the 3rd best team in the AFC North at best, in my opinion. And one of my least favorite picks of the entire draft so far was Tutu Atwell going at number 57 to the Rams. It was their first pick of the draft, and I think Tutu Atwell's a fine player. I didn't really think he was going to be a 2nd or even a 3rd round guy. He's just someone that can run really fast. Has a really, really small route tree, pretty much only goes deep. And he's good at doing that. He's good at stacking cornerbacks and getting over the top with his elite deep and elite long speed. But Tutu Atwell, to me, when you have Deshaun Jackson already on the roster and you really didn't need receiver that badly, you're going to take a one-trick pony, essentially, in a 5'9", is he? 149-pound receiver. I saw a video recently where he weighed in at 160. Listen, if you think Devontae Smith's weight is a problem, you're talking about a guy who ran 4.39 at 149 pounds. I think there are big-time durability concerns. And with these big physical cornerbacks he might be matched up against, how effective is Tutu Atwell really going to be? And for the Rams that really desperately needed to address offensive line and cornerback / safety, in my opinion, and linebacker, the Rams went out and drafted a super light one-trick pony durability concerns receiver at 57. I just think it was a weird pick. I don't know why you have Deshaun Jackson if you're going to draft Tutu Atwell with this pick. I don't know how much he's going to play. I don't know where he's going to play. You could say he's going to be a return man. Do you really want a guy that's 150 pounds taking big-time hits on special teams very often? I don't know what his role is going to be. I don't know how often he's going to see the field. He's going to a good scenario, right? I think Sean McVay is going to figure out a way to use him. I don't think he's Brandon Cooks or anything like that, but they might use him in a similar way to the way they use Brandon Cooks as a deep threat. You needed to address other positions, in my opinion. Tutu Atwell was just a weird one. This is another like Rams, Tavon Austin type situation all over again, and I think Tavon Austin was a better prospect than Tutu Atwell was coming out. So I can only imagine how this ends for the Rams. Hate to do it. I only want to talk about good picks. It feels bad to be negative. Feels sad, but we got to do it. And I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.
I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah. Promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah. I'ma turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud. Speedbird's good.